It's time to power up over 9,000. This is Geek Culture 101 and a review of Dragon Ball Daima. So get that scatter ready and let's key blast into it. But first, I should point out, this review may contain spoilers. So if you have yet to watch Daima, I suggest you hold off further until you do. Animation and visuals. Let's start with the animation. Most of it's very clean and genuinely looks good. However, it's almost a little too clean and refined. So much so that it just takes away from the gritty atmosphere of the world. When the characters become adults again in the demon world, the shift feels abrupt and almost jarring, like they don't match the background. Many scenes were clearly meant to be brutal, and yet they lack the blood and raw impact, which means they fall short of delivering the intended visual punch. The fight choreography remains sharp and the characters' designs are true to the Dragon Ball aesthetic, but the over-polished visuals sometimes lessen the intensity of what should feel like a hard-hitting battle. At times it felt like they were trying to emulate the dynamic visuals of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie or Super Superhero. But without the necessary budget, this result made it kind of look generic. Like the films could do that style because of their budget, but when you don't have that, it's not going to have the impact. Power scaling and believability. One of the most jarring aspects was the power scaling. It felt incredibly inconsistent. I get they were reduced to children, so that would logically lower their power levels, but seeing characters like Goku and Vegeta being hurt by guns like they were, it just felt completely off. Like they, even as children, should be beyond that. It's like we were watching down a watered version of Dragon Ball Super even, which, as you know, had questionable power level scaling. It just didn't sit right with me, and it really took away from the story, which brings us to the story and fan service. As for the story, oh boy, I went in expecting something like GT 2.0. While Daima does incorporate familiar elements from GT, it still manages to feel unique and fresh in its own right. That said, there's a bit too much fan service, thrown in without proper justification. The ending, when we see a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, yes, I said Super Saiyan 4 Goku, is a prime example. These huge transformations, which should have had significant build-up and weight, come off as flashy inclusions inserted purely for fan service. Along with plot elements like Kaioshin's backstory and several major twists, this extra fan service creates a disconnect from what we know of Dragon Ball Z, Super, or even GT. Which brings us to continuity. Many suspected this would be canon to Super or even GT. Yet with the alternate stories, transformations, and creative liberties taken, it's clear that Daima operates as an alternative timeline or universe. Despite being pinned by the late Akira Toriyama, it feels more akin to the Dragon Ball movies. Familiar and fun, but not part of the main continuity, at least most of them. New characters. Regarding the new characters, most of them feel like wish versions of our main timeline favorites. Now, I did really like Glorio and was pleasantly surprised by the fresh takes on characters that we know from the Xenoverse games, but on the other hand, the new Majin Buu versions, Do and Ku, they were annoying and cheesy. But that may have just been me, given I was never a fan of the original Buu as a character either, and felt the same way about him. Final verdict? Dragon Ball Daima is genuinely a fun ride. With plenty of nostalgic throwbacks for longtime Dragon Ball fans, it offers exciting moments, solid action, and a few intriguing new characters. Yet struggles with over-refined visuals, abrupt transitions, and an excess of unearned fan service, along with poor power scaling. The visuals often felt like a budget imitation of Dragon Ball Super Broly and Super Superhero, resulting in generic aesthetics. It's enjoyable for what it is, but it likely to draw in new fans, it is not. So, with that said, I give it 3.5 Dragon Balls out of 5. That's right, 3.5 out of 5. I was hoping it would be a 5, because Dragon Ball is my favorite anime, but this just felt a little bit short. Well guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, this is Geek Culture 101, your home for all things geek. Stay geeky, my friends, stay geeky.
Geek Culture 101, your home for all things geek, where passion drives us every day of the week. From gaming quests to tech's next best, we're diving deep into a geek's best.